Apologies if this video sounds weird, I'm actually recording in a different place than usual for this one, but I wanted to go ahead and give my expectations for the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 beta. Yesterday, Call of Duty announced a couple of things about the beta. They announced some of the start times for different consoles and machines, and they announced that a Blackout beta will be separate and coming in September. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is the official schedule for the Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta. Like I said, you're not going to be getting to play any Battle Royale during this beta time. However, Weekend 1, which is PlayStation 4 exclusive, will be starting August 3rd at about 1 p.m. Eastern Time and ending on August 6th at about the same time, I think. Yeah, I just looked at it. It ends at the same time that it starts, so about 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which will mean you will get to play on 4 separate days. Like I said, this will be PS4 exclusive, so during this weekend, people on PC and Xbox One will not be getting to play. However, on Weekend 2, that changes, where PlayStation 4 and Xbox One players will be getting to play separately on August 10th and ending through August 13th, which is another 4-day time frame for players to go ahead and play on. This is pretty average. Generally, we get about the same amount of time to play the Call of Duty betas, or historically, this is about the same amount of time we've gotten it. At about the same, I think, time frame throughout the year. I think they're always in about mid to late August, depending on the game. I don't know, Infinite Warfare's, I feel like for some reason was like, I don't know, in like late September. I can't even remember. That game was so terrible. So I know the PC players are saying, hey, what about us? What about us? Okay, so your guys, this is a little bit different. You guys will be playing August 10th through 13th. However, PC will only have early access players playing on August 10th. The beta will be open August 11th through 13th for people who I guess have pre-ordered there. I don't know, it's a bit confusing. So if this is how it works, it is a 3-day time frame plus the early access day, which will give us a chance pretty much on all consoles to go ahead and try out the multiplayer in its current state. So I'm going to go ahead and list off some of my expectations and talk about them in this video. I've been pretty critical of the game so far, so I just want to go ahead and lay my expectations out on the table for the multiplayer exclusively, and then once we finally get a chance to go ahead and play it, I will of course make a follow-up video and kind of compare and contrast. So this multiplayer beta needs to have at least 4 maps. Now Call of Duty Black Ops 4, it seems like, is on the heavier end when it comes to like maps that will be available. World War II did not have very many maps, but I think even it had 4 on the beta, so hopefully we get at least 4 maps. Around this time we get a general feel for pretty much how all the maps in the game work, because every game, it seems like, has kind of the same map design. It depends on the studio, of course. In my opinion, Treyarch makes the best maps, so I have high expectations. Generally, during the beta, we actually even find out the best map. I think they might even be putting in the best map to try and get, I guess, excited to play on the maps and stuff, and especially that one pretty much early on. Like Combine was in Black Ops 3's beta. Throwback, which was my favorite map from Infinite Warfare, was in that beta, and then in World War II, I can't remember 100%, but I think London Docks might have been in it. I don't know, I can't remember. I know Gibraltar, which is another map I like, was in it. I think I actually might be one of the only people I know who likes that map. So we're gonna need at least a wide variety. They can't all be the same style map. I hate that when a beta, like when they choose the maps that they're putting into it, they decide, hey, let's put basically the same map with a couple different aesthetics and stuff in. Black Ops 3, which was the prior Treyarch game, I thought had a really good map selection when it came to the beta. We got a snowy map with like the the mansion and stuff like that, and then we had Evac, which is like this high rise, but it's all overgrown. Gives you like this earth-like, grassy plant feeling kind of. And then you got Combine, which is almost the same way, but it's more bright, vibrant, it's smaller, more compact. It was my best map in Black Ops 3 when it comes to voting down to them. And those are the 3 that I remember from that beta. I think there might have been a 4th, but I don't remember it. Maybe it was Fringe. It's just slipped my mind. But we also need to have the ability to use a lot of the different weaponry in the game, because I think that that's going to be huge. Because Call of Duty, a big thing about it is the weapons and the guns that you get to use in the game. So if we're not able to use at least, I would say, half of the weapons in the game in the beta. I mean, you don't want to have them all using all the weapons, because then that kind of ruins the surprise. But we need to be able to use at least half, and we need to have the best weapons so far in the game in it. That way people who not only play the game like in esports and stuff, but even people who just like playing with the best guns because, they like getting gameplays and stuff like that, and being, obviously the best players in the game. I mean, we need to figure out the best guns in the game, and usually in the betas we can get an idea around that. I've noticed that often, like, the best AR and SMG, or like the higher tier ARs and SMGs are in the beta, and then of course once it transfers over to the real game, we actually do see those being, you know, at least in the top 5 best weapons or so. And of course, none of the weapons in the beta are final. They go through and they go ahead and change some of the stuff up. They change up like the weapon stats if they're bad and try and make them better. They nerf some of the super overpowered guns. There's always at least one, but that's going to be a huge part of it. And the guns need to be good, because I know there's been Call of Duty games in the past, like personally, I don't think Ghosts had that very good of a selection of weapons. There was like the Honey Badger, and that's really about all I can remember from that game, honestly. I didn't play it a lot, I didn't like it, but the weaponry was just, it wasn't close to any other Call of Duty in my opinion. I think it had horrible weapons. But I also don't like it when the game is dominated by like 1 or 2 weapons. There needs to be, in my opinion, at least 2 really good ARs, 2 maybe, you know, decent, good ARs, and then of course the rest can be garbage, I don't care. I would say the same with SMGs. I think the snipers need to be, you know, at least decent. They can't be terrible. You can't try and kill like quickscoping and stuff. LMGs I don't really use, so I don't care. And then shotguns, I will say World War II's shotguns were absolute garbage unless you had incendiary shells. I don't think it should be that way. Shotguns should at least be a 1-shot close quarters, maybe a 2-shot mid-range and farther. It shouldn't be a sniper like the KSG from Black Ops 2, but there is no reason that they should be as bad as they were in World War II. The beta needs to actually stay online. It needs to stay up. The servers need to be able to handle themselves well. There's no point in having a beta if your servers are going to be junk, and let's be honest, Call of Duty is a huge franchise. There is no excuse to be having these bad of servers to where they're just crashing. This game needs to be online the whole time, because honestly, I figured that this beta is different than the rest of the betas we've ever seen, because unlike the other ones, we have games like Fortnite that we can just go straight to. And trust me, Fortnite is at a point now that most other games never reach. If you get on Fortnite, you're going to be playing it for a while, and if this beta goes off like multiple times and it's shutting itself down multiple times a day or even throughout one weekend of the beta, you're going to lose a lot of players back to Fortnite. The gameplay needs to be fluid and smooth. I don't usually have a problem with Treyarch games. I think not only do they make maps that are the perfect size for fast action gameplay, they have a mixture of small and medium maps, but the weaponry has always been really good, so you're not obviously one-shotting literally everyone with the ARs and SMGs, but you're also not having to shoot them like 9 times. This game is going to have a higher time to kill, which might not be a good thing for fast gameplay, plus you're going to have to heal yourself. I don't know how that's really going to affect the speed of the gameplay. I've been watching some of like the alpha gameplay and stuff, or the E3 gameplay that some of the bigger COD YouTubers got, and the gameplay looks, it's still decently quick, but it looks like it's a bit slower than other Call of Duty games, especially Black Ops games. So that might not be a great thing, honestly, but you know, we have to wait and see until the beta. So if it's not fluid and it's not smooth and it feels clunky to play, that's not going to be good, because that's not how a Call of Duty game should ever play. It needs to be well developed. It should play like it's on the path to being finished before it's at launch, and this is worrisome because a lot of the rumors that ended up being true stated that this game was basically in developmental hell and that it was so far behind on track basically that the full game probably isn't going to really launch in October. But at this point we're in beta, you know, we're approaching the actual launch in just a few months. At this point the beta is here, and once that's here, the game should be built. Like, all the basic parts of the game should be mastered and completed, and at this point, especially in a multiplayer like this, the only reason a beta needs to really be there is to generate hype within the fan base, get new people playing it and liking the series, testing out the application in the game for bugs, errors, glitches, and stuff to be fixed, and getting general feedback from the community to see what needs to be upgraded, updated, and made better. I would say a multiplayer beta should have the game at least 75 to 80% done, but of course, this might be the one where they don't meet my expectations, so we need to have a good mixture of game modes. We need like team deathmatch, domination, possibly search and destroy, capture the flag, hardpoint, things like that. We need competitive game modes to see how the game's truly going to play, not only from like an esports side, but also just like in pubs. We need to see how these game modes play in this game particularly, because if you look at like modes like hardpoint from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3, they don't really play the same. And since this game looks like it's radically different from its predecessors with like everyone having special abilities, there's a dude who can literally put up like armored walls and tripwire and stuff like that, and there's like barbed wire traps and stuff, that's going to alter how the game plays, especially when it goes to the objective. We need to get a good feel for these, that way players who want to play ranked play like myself with a team, we can actually get a good feel for how it's going to play, kind of adapt to it, and then kind of hone the skills that we think are going to be necessary back in Black Ops 3 or so into Black Ops 4. Of course, these are the fan favorite game modes, especially objective modes, and then Team Deathmatch is literally an industry standard in a first-person shooter, so it needs to be there regardless. It is the biggest casual game mode, I would say. It gets like 60% of the player base pretty much at all times. The gameplay needs to be fun. Now, this one I feel like is already going to be met. Honestly, I'm not sure because there are so many changes being brought to this game that, you know, we haven't really ever seen before, but Treyarch always finds a way to just hit the nail right on the head. Even Black Ops 3, which has, it's a very mixed reception game with the community. It was still the best jetpack game. It was way better than Advanced Warfare, and it was miles ahead of Infinite Warfare. Even though it had movement that nobody liked, a horrible supply drop practice, overpowered DLC weapons that you could only get by spending hundreds of dollars or just getting lucky, the gameplay was so fun because Treyarch always does it best, and that's just my honest opinion. We'll see how Infinity Ward does next year with a lot of the original team coming back and working on the next game, but as of right now, Treyarch has the best multiplayer. The guns are the best, the maps are the best, it's just the most fun. And I'm hoping that this Blackout mode didn't take away from the multiplayer because that's going to kill the game regardless. Blackout, of course, is trying to compete with the other Battle Royale games like PUBG and Fortnite, kind of taking the thunder away from Call of Duty and other franchises, but even then, there has to be a very good multiplayer, or you're not going to keep someone like me in. Yeah, Blackout sounds like a great idea, but, I mean, at the end of the day, if multiplayer is not good, I'm not going to be playing Call of Duty. It's just, there's no way. I play Call of Duty multiplayer because I don't get something akin to that in very many other games. Battlefield, maybe, but even then, there's so many differences that it's just insane. But when it comes to like Battle Royale, yeah, it can be great, but Fortnite is also really fun. I really enjoy that game. The new season has me addicted to the game again. You're gonna have to do better, and you're gonna have to differentiate yourself in some way, and the multiplayer has to be that way. It's gonna have to be really good. There isn't any more excuses. We've been saying COD is dying, and this is the COD that has to revive it for, 7 years or so now. Probably not 7 years, maybe like 4 or 5, depending on what you thought of some of the older games. Maybe you think it's a little bit shorter, but even then, we're at a point now where Call of Duty is really in a dangerous spot. There are so many other good games out that, COD just isn't there anymore. And if they don't make something that's going to get people playing again, it's going to be over. So they really need to do well this time around and start setting a precedent. So those are my expectations for the Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta. I will be making a Blackout beta expectations video probably in September whenever they announce all that information and stuff. Probably the first day that the beta comes out, I will have a video probably later in that day because I want to get some of the beta gameplay. I want to play it and actually get a feel for what I'm talking about, I will have the multiplayer beta video out probably the day it comes out. So what is that, August 3rd? I'll have the Blackout beta expectations out probably late August, early September whenever they announce all that stuff. And then of course have a Blackout beta review. And then finally like the launch day review for Black Ops 4 will come out. I'll kind of go over everything that happens in all the different modes, give my opinions on them, probably give them a rating or something. And then later in the game cycle, I'll give a final review. I'm about to do a World War II final review because I think that it's going to be it's totally necessary, honestly. I'm not even saying it should, I think that. At this point, World War II is an entirely different game than it launched as. It definitely needs a review because I think it needs a little bit more respect put on it, so. Anyways, that's the plan, guys. That's my thoughts. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below if you're new. Go ahead and turn on notifications for always to see all my newest content as it happens. Follow me on Twitter at sub2optimus for memes, thoughts, updates. I'm about to hit 1,000 followers on Twitter, and by the way, join the Discord down below. I will give you live push updates down there, and there's plenty of great conversations to be had with other fans. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, recording in a different place, but hopeful for Black Ops 4's beta, and signing out.